Say yeah. Oh, Masavu, you guys have been amazing. ULS, Muli Masavu Melere. I hope when I do some trouble, you guys will come and rescue me, right? Yeah. Come on. Hey. Teba. Oh, Teba. Tebamuza. Jolly Jenny. Baby Gamoze. Cause it's such a catchy. The sun. Bagamayo the groom. Bagamayo my everything. When kunyumia konkesa. Hey. Babali mamanyi baby to one famu. Go up as was a cativa yita maju. I never wanna lose a Rio. Hey yeah. Uno mukwano masavu kumasavu. Abali mamanyi luliti twakwamu. Twabas was a bayita maju. Pull it. Ah, Nedda. No. Why are you seated? No, this is not acceptable. Not when I'm singing one of the best songs in the country. Madam. What are you drinking? Please stand up. I love you so much, but we have to do this together. Oh yeah? Somebody say, Woyo! Let's go. Yes, ULS, I love you so much, guys, and thank you for whatever you're doing today. Hey, Masaba Tenga Gotia, Tusigale. Let me touch you, Sapini. You are connected to me. No one, and two, come on. Yeah. Zeba muza toli jedi ebigamoze koze sachikati the sun bagamba yo the groom bagamba yo my everything when kunyumya konkesa babali mamanyi beminzi wanvamu go abasoza kati bayita maju I never wanna lose a Rio one time. Uno mugwano masavu kumasavu abali bamanyi luliti twagwamu twamaswaza bayita maju I never wanna lose a Rio one like you Ibanage masavate tusigale bwetuti baby don't you sapini you are connected to me masavate nyagosha tusigale bwetuti baby don't you sapini you are connected to me. Yo, hey. Kajusa no teka komrala. Kajusa no zale walala. I'm the only woman worthy to carry your babies. Hold on to me, that as I ride you like a Mercedes. When speedy, chukumi, bibiri, too fast, I can't slow down. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Kuno mukwano masava tenga gocha. Tusigale bwetuti. Baby, don't you sapini. You are connected to me. ULS, I love you so much, guys. See you next time. What up?
All right. A round of applause for Azawi friends. Thank you very much, Azawi, for gracing us this morning. Friends, again, we're saying it's a radical bar. The bar is different. And indeed, we have just showed you what the radical bar looks like in this tech festival. Friends, we have a jazz that we're going to hand over to Azawi. Please, you're also going to be our brand ambassador out there. Even as a society, we're also a brand. You're going to be our brand ambassador out there. So there's a jersey for you if you may be upstanding and just receive this jersey from our president. It's a jumper, it's a beautiful one. R&B. R&B in full is the radical new bar. And you're part of this radical new bar. Thank you for joining us. No. It's the radical new bar. So president, if you may. Put it on proudly wherever you go. If you have an opportunity to perform in it, go ahead and perform in it. A typical lawyer in the radical new bar on a Friday with Azawi. Guys, camera people, I also want to be part of the pictures first hold. Thank you very much, Azawi. Thank you for being part of this. We hope we shall have you in other subsequent endeavors with the Radical New Bar. Please go proudly put on our jumper and be our ambassador out there. Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Azawi for gracing and kicking us into a real Friday. Whatever has to be done, we shall see it very, very early. Monday. The Radical New Bar. Thank you very much. I don't think we've witnessed this before. We've had bars where we are too serious that we even scare off our own clients. What we are saying is that the Radical New Bar, we are getting closer to who our clients are. And a typical lawyer on a Friday should be in a gown somewhere, but we are celebrating tech. Again, friends, you're very welcome as we launch this annual tech festival. We shall have remarks from the chair organizing committee of this tech festival, Council Galandi Tone, managing partner, Diamond Advocates, also happens to be one of the sponsors of this tech festival. Council Tone, if you may, please come and take us away as we dive into the business of the day. Again, Karibu, Karibu. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, rather this morning, as we launch the Tech Fest, what used to be the annual conference. Council Tone, Karibu.
Thank you very much, MC. I am excited to be here today, and I love the community. I want, first of all, thank the Radical New Bar for the innovation. It's not proper to continue doing things same way and expect different results. I want to give credit to our president, Isaac Asemakade, for coming with a transformation. And one of the pillars of this transformation was digital transformation. I'm glad he's walking the talk. And I'm glad he has been able to rally all of us to adapt to the disruption. As chair for the committee, I also want to thank the members we are working with. Paul Muchibi, you're welcome. Patson Arinaitwe, I think he has been around. And the other members who probably have not mentioned. I also want to thank our sponsors, MTN Uganda, one of our platinum sponsors. MTN is sponsoring us with 100 million shillings. I think they deserve a mighty hand clap. NSSF is giving us support as one of our sponsors. Stanbic Bank is giving us support as one of our sponsors. Diamond Advocates is also one of our key sponsors. And a number of other sponsors, including Blue Bell. Ruth, you need to help me with that. Bell Lego something. I'll be able to rectify. The MC should be able to pick that up. And very many other sponsors that are still en route. A number of sponsors have committed to support this cause. It's a new disruption, and we are appealing to all members of the bar, members of the bench, to adapt because previously we have had our annual law conference. The question which is lingering in very many people's minds is, so what is this tech festival? What happens to our new, to our annual law conference? I have instructions from the president to present to you that this is a rebrand of our annual law conference. The regime believes that the lawyer of 1980 is not the lawyer of today. And that's why they're saying, look, instead of us having the usual year in, year out, why don't we bring technology to the lawyer's doorstep? Why don't we make this conference this time around more practical, so that a lawyer from Kisoro, a lawyer from Koboko is able to come and experience something new. And that something new is, what are the new changes that are likely to affect you in your legal practice? Because they are taking place. We are talking about e-stamps. We are talking about cryptocurrencies. We are talking about, the other day I was talking to a number of us, and I was saying the robber of a bank 10 years ago needed to break in the bank physically. The robber today does not need to rob the bank by breaking the doors. He needs to be on his laptop in Panama Islands and hack into the banking system of Bank of Uganda and transfer money from Bank of Uganda to Japan, and then from Japan maybe to Seychelles. So a lawyer today must be able to appreciate the technology in legal practice, because that's what we are going to be dealing with. And that's what the world is dealing with today. And I'm glad that the Radical New Bar has taken this to another level. And I'm glad that many of our partners are appreciating this. And they have come on board, and many more are coming on board. We also recognize the presence of the council. We thank you for the support as a working committee. Thank you very much. We are looking forward to an exciting, practical festival. My president says that something that is going to bamboozle you, yeah? Something that is going to make you get rubbles in your belly, because it's going to be practical. There is a lot of innovations we are completely not in the know. And that day, that's what we are going to experience. We are having speakers who have caused disruption in the technology. Yeah? Later, the president will be unveiling our keynote speaker, and trust me, you'll be excited to hear. We are having people who are going to speak to us about the new disruptions in the legal fraternity with respect to technology from different areas where they have adopted technology in legal practice. As you and me are still busy reading 50, 60 pages of a case to simply find one principle, there are technologies now that are able to help you read and get that principle in a split second. And that's what we are going to experience. And that's what we expect to see practically. We are going to have exhibition booth to different partners. We are having a booth, for example, for ECMIS, so that you appreciate, you are able to find time off and get to practically see how ECMIS works. We are having exhibitors, including insurance companies, that are going to take us through why we need professional indemnity. The young lawyer today may not know what professional indemnity today means, but that day when you find a client who thinks you're being very, very negligent and is taking on you in persona is when you realize the importance of professional indemnity. Now, these are conversations that we must open our eyes to. These are conversations, if we are going to push our legal practice to another level, that we must be open to listen to. Yeah? We are having, the people we are dealing with, they are moving on technology. But as lawyers, how are we? We need to get interested in these conversations. You know, yesterday I was having a conversation with the Vice President, Asimwe, and we're saying, look, as lawyers, are we involved in these regulations? Artificial intelligence has come. Are we part of the journey? Do we know who is making the policies? Because tomorrow we are the ones supposed to be in the middle of this. So I am really very, very excited that we are launching this, and I'm calling upon members of the bar to subscribe and come and experience this. It's going to be different. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. That's why today we are saying the lawyer of 20 years ago is not the lawyer today. That's why the vibe is a little bit different. Yeah? The lawyer today should be able to get close to the client. That's why we're having Azawi here. Can we get closer to the community? Can we get closer? Can we be able to appreciate technology from all areas? I would love to speak for the next 2 hours because I'm so passionate about this. But unfortunately, time cannot allow me to do so. I will hand over to the MC and also wind up by sending special thanks to the sponsors that have already come through. That's MTN Uganda. That is NSSF. That is Diamond Advocates. Plus a law firm which I think I need to be helped out. Bluebell. Plus Bluebell. Bluebell was one of the very, very first sponsors to come on board. And the sponsors keep coming through, so don't feel neglected because I've not mentioned your name. We'll keep mentioning you as you keep supporting us. There's so many people who are very interested in coming on board, and I'm glad. We hope we'll continue updating our pages. We'll continue updating our communications on the sponsors, the different packages of the sponsorship. The president is going to be giving you, Doreen is going to be giving us the rates for the young lawyer, for the interests, and the senior lawyers, and even the non-lawyers. We're saying, look, if we have that client who wants to know how ECMIS works, there must be a fee. And the fee should be able to present that, yes, by the time you are coming to learn how ECMIS works, you should be able to pay, a popular Idembe David somewhere, good fee. Yeah? So Doreen will be taking us through that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of the Tech Festival, 14th to 15th August 2025. It's going to be in Munyonyo. It is going to be bigger and better. Thank you very much, MC, please. That is my communication. I call upon everybody who has not subscribed. Please keep subscribing. Later in the day, we are going to be having somebody present to us a payment platform that has been sanctioned by Uganda Law Society. We have an aggregator, so that even when you are away, you are in the US, you are in the UK, but you want to use your visa, we can be able to get your money. Because you may not be able to use your Momo Pay and so on. You may not be able to do a wire transfer. You are not yet digitalized. You'll be able to use Visa. So that will be presented on the payment platforms. Thank you very much. MC, please. Adam wants me to smile for the camera. Thank you very much. Ronnie, DJ, in the meantime, thank you.
And another woman that can take your spot, man.
DJ Tofaz, Mr. Five Star, dropping nothing but the best R&B hits. R&B hits. R&B hits.
Tofaz. If I wrote you a symphony, just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you date me on the regular? Tell me, would you? Well, baby, I've been around the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony Galandi, and most importantly, I would like to thank your team for putting this together. I know the efforts normally put in organizing events like this. I have chaired an annual conference before for both ULS and ELS, and I know what it means, the energies that go into the preparations. Thank you very much for the job well done so far. But most importantly, I would also like to call on more sponsors. We still need people to partner with the Radical New Bar in bringing this vision to pass. We have a couple of them, but I am very certain there are very many others who would want to be part of this. You will contact the committee chair to be part of this transformation, part of this disruption. Friends, we're going to have our next speaker, who will be Mr. Joel Basoga. Mr. Joel, if you could make your way here. And Mr. Joel is going to take us through what it means to exhibit and who our exhibitors are going to be. Mr. Joel, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much, the MC. Thank you to the President, who has, under his leadership, we have the unique opportunity to have something that is going to radically transform how we practice the law. I would like to thank the President and the Vice President of the Uganda Law Society, members of the Council, and the members of the Secretariat. Thank you very much for your excellent service. My role here is very important, but also very simple, to tell you about the exhibitors and what will happen. I know that some of you could be here and you could participate in the exhibition. But I also think that to begin this conversation, we have to first understand and to build up on the points that have been made by the chairperson of the Tech Fest committee, is to understand technology. I'll begin off with a quote by Richard Susskind, who did his PhD at Oxford over 25 years ago. And his PhD was on the role of artificial intelligence in the legal profession. That's 25 years ago. Most of us have begun to use these tools just over a year or 2 years ago, but people have been thinking about the impact of technology for over 25 years before our time here. So in his book, which is very futuristic, called Tomorrow's Lawyers, and he's a technology lawyer. If you've traveled around, you've seen him speak at several tech conferences. One of his renowned books, which I have a copy of, which he signed, autographed a copy for me, so I feel very special to disclose that. One of the quotes in his book is about technology and what it will do to lawyers. He says that technology will be the main driver for change. And in the long run, we will neither need or want professionals to work in the way that they did in the 20th century and before. And he's pointing towards the fact that the way we operate as professionals, and the legal profession is one of the professions, we would have to change the way we work. We can't work the way the 20th century was structured. And perhaps in a prophetic way, that's the challenge we deal with today. Personally, I advise some software companies, and when they come to me to ask for advice, they already come with a draft document. So their advice is not, Joel, can you draft for me a bulk SMS agreement? Can you draft for me a content management agreement? They share a draft on email. Joel, can you double check? And they are not shy about it. This was generated on AI. Just make sure you tailor it to the law. So I've had to step out of my own shoes and begin to review what has already been generated and make sure it conforms to the law. And perhaps that should be the illustration that brings into context the impact of technology. We are competing with platforms that can generate better demand notices. We are competing with platforms that can review a financing agreement in much more specific terms than a lawyer who has practiced for 10 years. So, as we are aware of that context, technology is an undeniable part of our reality, and that means we have to be proactive and engage with it. So, at the festival, we are going to be focusing on skilling and knowledge levels. So the exhibitors will hold your hand, depending on the level at which you are. There will be beginners who are just trying to understand how they can ethically engage with technology. There will be intermediaries, and I think most of the people in this room might fall under that bracket. So you have been using some of these tools, and you want to know how to use them efficiently, ethically. For instance, maybe some of you already know fully how to operate the system on ICMIS, how to file, how to upload, and so we'll have different exhibitors, even from the judiciary and the arms that help us with access to justice. But then there'll be advanced learners. There'll also be exhibitors that will address those specific needs. So whatever position you're in, whether you're learning, or you're an intermediary who has you've been using some of these technologies already, or you're an expert and you want to expand your knowledge, the exhibitors and the participants in the conference are going to address your needs. So it could be holding your hands and walking you through the entire ICMIS system, which most advocates may be familiar with, but not everyone. But it may be introducing you to AI-related products. I've interacted with, with some innovators who have designed an AI that can help you review documents. And it can help you review documents and integrate, it's integrated into the search engines like Uganda Legal Information Institute, the Kenya Legal Information Institute. And so you're able to have all this information that you could use to increase your capacity to advise your clients. So that's the context. So the exhibitors that we are looking at are going to hold your hand as a beginner, or if you're an intermediary, they'll increase your knowledge and output. But also, even if you are at the tail end an expert, your knowledge is going to be expanded to that extent. So who may exhibit? I think that's a fundamental question. As of course, you're seeing a number of brands. We already have telecoms, that's some of our main sponsors for the event. So if you're a telecommunications company, in one way or the other, we are using telecom companies. If you're a fintech, there are a lot of innovative products that financial technology companies have come up with, booking payment platforms that are integrated to allow people to offer services. If you're a bank, an insurer, or a financier, you are obviously also interested in taking up some of the exhibition slots. But also we have startups and innovators. As I was coming here, I was chatting with one of the innovative companies that has designed a product that allows small businesses to generate templates and contractual documents for their businesses. And that obviously is directly competing with the service that lawyers give. but I think it doesn't take away the business. Like I began, some of the people that I advise, when they are seeking advice, they first send you a draft. So you don't generate from scratch. And I think that having them present, and those are startups that are leading innovations that are trying to solve legal problems, or they're trying to help businesses. So startups, tech hubs, we have a number of tech hubs that are innovating, trying to find practical ways to increase awareness on the law. Some of these are through applications that are available on your Play Store or your iOS store. But also, if you're dealing in robotics, there are a lot of innovations that overlap with what we do. Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate the discussion on technology. But even using an automated teller machine, that's some form of technology. It's essentially a robotic machine that has been programmed to give you cash, or what they call cash machines in other countries. And so those robotic applications, so if you have invented some products that are involved in robotics, this platform is also one that you should consider. Universities and research institutions. Universities hold a very special place in our society. They are not the guardians of knowledge, but they help us develop thought patterns and think about the future. And they have been also affected in one way. And I know a number of universities not so far away from here, at Hill and Kampala, some further the east in Mukono, that have AI labs that are innovating and thinking of practical ways to increase learning skills of students. So whether you are an education institution, a tech hub, you are part of the exhibitors that should be using this platform, an NGO, but even law firms, because I do know for a fact that there are law firms, even in Uganda, that have rolled out AI platforms that are used internally. Those, what we call in technical terms, large language models, have been designed to study the documents that lawyers work on. For instance, if you work on mortgages, whatever you submit as your final work, this system can learn from what you have done. And when you get an instruction, you can be able to use that system to edit, but also it can flag for you the clauses that are problematic based on how you have changed previous documents. And so, even law firms and any other, if you want to exhibit, our role as the Tech Fest committee is, to grant you that opportunity. So we are inviting several exhibitors who will showcase, their products. And so we'll have different levels to this. There'll be a Margarita, Wagagai, and Mohabura standard for showcasing, which just basically means that there'll be entry-level exhibitions where you have one stall where you can position, and there'll be those where you have unlimited space by which to operate. So depending on what your interest is, we have a flyer which has been shared on the Uganda Law Society X account that spells out all of these details. And to really emphasize the point as we wind up is to begin back from the quote where I started, that technology is the main driver for change. And in the long run, we will neither need or want professionals who work in the old way of the 20th century and before. Those were the words of Richard Susskind, who I said, did his PhD on AI in law over 25 years ago at the University of Oxford. And, he says those in his book, Tomorrow's Lawyers. And so those are some of the potential people that may exhibit at the conference. But again, as I said, you may reach out to us on our platforms. And we are keen to make sure that this session is practical. The Tech Fest is practical. You will move from one booth to another, learning how you can better your practice through using technologies and using that as a platform to enhance service delivery to your clients. So having said that, I'm really, really looking forward to the Tech Fest. I already marked my calendars off, and I hope that as we look forward to this event, we can realize the immense potential that technology has for us, much more than just being a buzzword. technology is taking shape, and I think at the Tech Fest, we're going to hold your hand, whether as a beginner or as an intermediary. There'll be so many exhibitors who will be showing you how to better your practice or how to implement technology within your practice. Thank you very much once again to our chairperson, Mr. Galandi, to the Vice President and President of the Law Society and the Council and the Secretariat. It's a distinct honor to be able to serve on the Tech Fest Committee, and I look forward to further deliberations and meeting everyone at the festival. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Joe. Friends, you heard it. Be there. Even for us beginners, they will take us through on what we have to do to make this practice better, but most importantly, to earn out of this practice. Again, thank you very much to our sponsors who have come on board, MTN Uganda, NSSF, Bluebell, Diamond Advocates, and all the other sponsors that are still coming on board. You have a couple of days away from the festival, and I hope by then we should have been joined by a couple of other sponsors. Right about now, I would like to call upon Councillor Paul Muchibi, the Technical Committee Advisor, who will throw one or two insights into what this Tech Fest looks like, and thereafter we shall dive into the other good things of the day that R&B has organized for you. Councillor Paul, if you may. Just to let you know, Councillor Paul, I still have my vote for you in my pockets as and when we are ready to vote for you on the Judicial Service Commission. Karibu.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, I welcome you all here. Our chair, council members, the VP, council representatives, those present here, I've seen Eddie, and those online. Thank you so much for this event. Today I'm not here for JSC, as said. I'm here for real business. ICT, Joel has just spoke to you. ICT is one of the areas I've been interested in the legal profession. I started this some time back. You know, most of you have been digesting cases ever since I joined the law reporting department at LDC. I began a group of legal alerts, and I started digesting cases almost on a daily basis. I keep sending these digests, and the legal fraternity picked interest so much in this. I was even first contacted by Yuli, and Yuli wanted to have a collaboration with LDC on how to do this. Then I was moving on something else. I wanted to convert from text to audio. I also came up with audio legal alerts, where you could have a brief of the alert communicated using the audio for about 3 minutes or 2 minutes. And the message was very clear and impactful. And why I started doing this, about 2 years ago, I started my thesis, LD thesis, on integrating ICT in adjudication processes of courts. That's something I've been doing, and I'll be concluding this year. And it has exposed me so much into ICT applications and the digital world, and where the legal profession is pressed today. This is something very, very serious. Little did I know that judiciary had a strategic plan for ICT as old as 2002. When I was doing my research, I came across it. And I realized that around 2000, they were 2020, they were preparing to launch. And subsequently, after the COVID period, 2022, that is 1st March, they launched ECMIS. But before ECMIS, we had those of you, the old school. Sometimes I call them BBC lawyers, born before computers. So you remember the CAS. We had the CAS before ECMIS, and the CAS was the court case administration system. Even the CAS itself had some digital application, but on a lower scale, because you could easily track a few processes of a court case file, movement, a few processes. For instance, filing date, case number, and the movement of the case, and perhaps knowing the hearing date or the next date of whether hearing, mention, etc. CAS could do that. Now, as judiciary was using the CAS for some years, it was working on ECMIS. As you all know, in 2022, we started ECMIS in March, and we had an AGM at Entebbe. That was in 2022, where I spoke about this ECMIS and how it is disrupting the legal profession. And then all lawyers were saying we should end it. We don't need it. It is really affecting our business and how it should be done. Incidentally, Kenya, Rwanda, TZ had already started this, and they were using, and the results were very, very positive in as far as administration of justice is concerned. It was really a bit tough whether go fully ICT, have a hybrid, bit of ICT, bit of old school, or totally go back to old school. And the reality is, you can never think of going back to old school. It is totally impossible. You know, ICT can't beg you. If you don't want it, it leaves you. When it leaves you, you start running after it. Because you cannot exist without it. You have to run after it. And that's why we had to embrace lawyers. No, we need to accept the new normal. We need to embrace technology to be where we are supposed to be. Last week I had a conference in Nairobi, still about integrating ICT in legal education curricula. And what is very interesting, in Kenya, for them, even normal hearings, they are all digital now. They are having virtual and video conferencing. I was in certain law firms, a few I visited, and they were proceeding. The clients are at home, at workplaces. The lawyers are in chambers. The judges are in also their chambers. But matters are proceeding. And I didn't see any lawyer going to court to attend court physically. They are all in the comfort of their chambers. So if you think IC can reverse, it is very impossible. It is just progressing. So this digital transformation by the radical new bar is one of the aspects that really interested some of us, that we are now on the real bar, what the bar should be doing. And we are having so many challenges in courts, issues of delaying in getting proceedings. Imagine in this digital era, writing to get certified proceedings, and you spend 3 months waiting. They are typing to give you proceedings. These proceedings should be instant in the digital world. They should be instant. Our judges are struggling writing judgments. They tell you Judge X has 100 pending what? AI can help in this. And when I say AI can help in this, I don't mean that the judge sit as a robot and leave everything to what? AI. No. It's a tool you can use, and it simplifies judgment what? Writing. And the judgments can be delivered on time. Well typed, even a certified record. We don't need to go into the physical certification of documents. We have to go the e-certification of documents. It is existing and it is working elsewhere. You may all know, I shared a case I digested, I think early this year around March in South Africa. The High Court allowed digital notarization of documents. Why should somebody look for a notary and move miles and miles? The court accepted a document that was notarized digitally. It was simple for the deponent to produce a video recording of how the document was read to the notary electronically, and the notary also saw the deponent, and the deponent confirmed and notarized the document digitally. And the court accepted it. And actually, court criticized the system of making people travel miles and miles to look for a commissioner. In Kampala, you may be lucky there are many and they are near you. But in some regions of the country, looking for a commissioner is not something easy. So, this is where we are supposed to be. You can see Yuri today. Yuri has started having digest of case decisions using AI. They are there. And you get the gist of the case very fast, in a few minutes. I use it to do case digest, but also don't take away the human intellect to confirm the content. So this is where we are all going, or we are already there. We just need to stay there, stay stronger, and move forward. Recently in June this year, we had a peer review summit at LDC, and I interested Professor Balia to join, and he joined us. And one of the things I was looking at is the culture of instilling digital movement in lawyers. It appears lawyers also appreciate the benefits of technology. But the challenge is most of us in the legal profession seated here and who are virtually following these proceedings have gone through the old school while studying law. We have been sitting in the comfort of lecture theaters where there is no laboratory. What is only in that theater is a facilitator who comes, talks to you, you urge and go. Research, physical library. That is the old school we have all come from. Now we join the practice. We find technology is already there, which we never had during the training. So, some of you who might have been following, UTAMO is one of the new institutions that has just been accredited to teach law. And predominantly, it's a technological university. So we've had a discussion with Professor Balia to design ICT tailor-made courses for lawyers, which can really pull up their skills and so bring them to speed in ICT, and also integrate ICT in the legal curricula. I've seen the draft. Their specialized courses, National Council has already approved. I've seen intellectual property and ICT law. Some are at even bachelor levels. Some are specialized master's level. These, among others, there has been a concern of training. Incidentally, ICT, you don't necessarily need a classroom to train. You can learn on the job. It's all about mindset, change management, changing your mindset, and no, you can make it. You can teach yourself. But you can also advance at another training level. So, Today, legal research can easily be easier if we use technology. It can be easier as compared to the old system, legal research. We had some few ICT application in court processes. We began with e-payments, whereby we are electronically paying court fees, among other issues. We moved from there, and slowly, a few judges and a few courts started embracing judgment delivery or rulings using emails. And that also was causing complaint to some lawyers. Now this judgment delivered by email, is it an original judgment? They still had issues even with that, you can imagine. They are so much used to seeing the court seal in a wet paper. That court seal. You know, we have what we call an e-signature and a wet signature. That wet signature is what they believe in. That court seal, which has been branded there, is what they used to believe in. But now the mindset is changing. They have started seeing judgments being delivered, and they know they are the real what? Judgments. Now, when ECMIS was launched, we had other additions, e-filing, where you upload your documents on the system. Though we are still operating it alongside the manual, but at least it is also there. And some courts have also started the virtual proceedings. Proceeding virtually. We also have the issues to do with hearings, bail applications. You remember in COVID tested us a lot and made us not to sleep anymore. Bail applications could be had virtually. And today, we are also having some regulations in place. I fought this because I saw in some jurisdiction where ICT integration in the legal curricula was fought due to lack of legislative framework. But with a lot of pressure, at least we have some regulations in place we can use. The whole issue is, today, as practitioners, we cannot exist without embracing technology. It is already part of us. Whether you are old school or not, it is already part of you. And where we are going, you realize that lawyers are no longer going to be in buildings seated. They are going to be proceeding from elsewhere. And this is what we've been trying to also tell law counsel. Start preparing yourself. Don't come to a law firm and start asking me, ready volumes. I have electronic laws all installed on my system. So, how can you stop approving my chambers because you have not seen this bigger what? Book. Yet whatever is here and more, I already have what? Electronically. So we are also telling our regulators to get ready in the digital what? World. And the question that we'll have tomorrow, as it has been there today, is a court, a building, a structure? Is a law chamber supposed to be a building or a structure? We shall get into that as we do what? Move on. So let's prepare ourselves for this challenge. What RNB has done is so good to prepare us in advance that where we are going is the reality we are on today. And we better start it. If you have not embraced yet, start it now. Joro has talked about the professor who conducted a study on AI 25 years ago. AI is something new in most people's ears today. But you can see their studies conducted way back. You recall recently the case of Silver Kayondo against Bank of Uganda on cryptocurrencies, where the High Court said it is an unknown system of payment in Uganda. It was so funny to hear that, where the world is today. People are using cryptocurrencies like nothing. Incidentally, thereafter the case, Bank of Uganda had to engage a consultant to do a study on crypto what? Currencies, with the motive of also embracing the same. So technology, we are just going to chase it. If we don't want it, it cannot beg us. But if it leaves us, it will be us chasing after it. There is no way you can now exist without technology. So as lawyers, in the practice, we need to cope up with this. That said, we need to brace this event, 14th, 15th, as it is being launched today. We all need to take part. We expect to have so many events taking place, showing you how you can use AI to do your legal research. How AI can even help you on writing submissions. The danger is some of you now just delegate AI to do what? Everything. And you take away your human intellect. And this is where we get the danger. And you've seen where courts are complaining of lawyers citing non-existing cases using what? AI. You know, AI can give you an authority, which sounds very good. And the principle you are looking for is exactly in that case. But when you do deeper research, you'll find that case doesn't what? Exist. And the issue is simple. Have we customized our cases and put them in these apps for AI to use them? That is where the biggest gap what is. But we cannot address that gap if we get the skill, if we get the training, and if we decide to use the new normal aggressively. We shall be there. And we shall see that. Incidentally, Professor Balia was telling me that when he was Vice Chancellor at Makerere, he found most of the professors who could never touch a computer in their life. All their seminars, you had to print copies of papers and send them to read in advance. And he fought that in his era and ensured that they got the training, the skills. And by the time he left, most of them, even in conferences, were preferring presentation by PowerPoint and could never go back to hard what? Paper. So we can all be there. We can all change, but you need to change your mindset. You need to be aggressive. You need to support the system. So colleagues, let's join this struggle. It is going to benefit each of us. It's going to benefit our practice. It's going to benefit our clients. It's going to also benefit the bench. We don't want to leave court knowing the proceedings in court were X. When you apply to get the record, they give you Y. Because the thing is owned by